Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And this is actually kind of funny.
Yep.
Mr. Magazine doesn't look at my notes. And even if he did,
I couldn't understand.
Good luck to him.
The bank hates you when I bring your checks in.
It's illegible. I will admit that. That's what we're talking about today. Yep. However, Mr. Magazine, at the end of the last video that we recorded, actually hit on what we were talking about today, believe it or not.
Wow.
And I went on a book buy today, and I've done books for almost 30 years now, 25 years. A long time I've been doing books. And you see a lot of the same books time and time again, same type books, same. And this gentleman had a big pile of James Bond paperbacks, the Signet paperbacks. You've seen those, you've had those, you've sold those.
Sure.
However, he also had I think it was called Alligator by J asterisk, or a story of J asterisk MESB asterisk ND.
Okay.
It's a Harvard Lampoon parody paperback, which I have never, ever seen. Now, you've seen the Harvard Lampoon parodies, like the Cosmopolitan magazine and those things that they did.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I mean, I could have had one just over the type of stuff I get because I have those other ones.
Well, this is actually paperback size, so
yeah,
you probably wouldn't have
we
it.
could have. I mean, who knows? I mean, just because we buy a lot of.
Right.
It's not an adult book, but it's adult related. Like, a kid's not going to understand it. But maybe.
Well, and then there was another book in there called Locksfinger.
Okay.
The Adventures of Oi Oi 7.
Okay.
And it's a Jewish parody of James Bond.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have never in my life seen that book. All these years of doing it, I have never seen that book. And it got me thinking, and Mr. Magazine at the end of the last video was talking about it as well, how often we still, after all of these years, come across things that we just had no idea that exist.
Exactly.
And
it's always a good item. It's never like, well, I've never had this before. Oh, it only goes for $2. I don't remember ever that being the case.
well, and the other thing too is, okay, we're going to take some magazine like Saturday Evening Post or Collier's. Yes, there are going to be issues that we haven't seen before, but we've seen those titles before.
Right.
But all of a sudden, you'll come across some magazine that you just have never seen before from the 1950s, and you're like, wait, what is this magazine? I've never seen this magazine before in all these years of doing it. And it's kind of interesting because even much rarer, but it does happen from time to time in the comic books. I do come across comic books. Super, super unlikely, but I will occasionally come across some kind of a sports card from, the olden days. I'm not talking something 2022 or something.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, early 1900s. Sometimes you come across a sports or a non-sports card and you're like, I have never seen this before.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen this in the guides that I'm aware of,
Yeah.
and so on. So what would be your advice if you're a long time and you come across something brand new?
Something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
You're saying, yeah, I mean, if it's reasonable and if it sounds reasonable, I would scarf it up. Absolutely. Because it might be one of those things where you can set your own price. You can say, hey, I buy it for $5. Throw 50, throw 100 on there. Who's to say it's not worth that if you haven't seen any comps ever or ever had one, for sure.
Right. And then the other thing, too, is there are times when you'll come across something that is uncommon like that, and then you'll get home and you'll do your research on it, and you'll find out that it is a little more common than you thought.
Right.
And by that, I mean 2 of them have sold on eBay in the last 2 years.
Right.
So they have sold out there.
Right.
But then if you take a look, go ahead.
I was going to say, okay, say you had 2 in the last year have sold, and now there's none on there.
Yep.
You still know, hey, they may have sold theirs for $35. There's none available now. I'm throwing 60 on mine.
Yep, absolutely. That was exactly my point. In a case like that, I will do a quick Google search as well to see if, is it on Abe Books? Is it on, some other little website here? Does somebody have it on Etsy? Does somebody have it somewhere else? But if you can't find any others for sale, why did it only sell for 35? And that's when you take a look as well. Oh, they only sold for 35 because that's what the person asked on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, if they had asked 50, they probably would have gotten 50 on it.
Yeah, sure.
And obviously you can't ask $3,000 or anything on it, something like that. But certainly, again, like Mr. Magazine said, you most certainly would be justified asking 60 on it. And if somebody came forth and said, "Well, it sold for $35," yep, the only other one on eBay in the last 2 years sold for that. You're right.
All you need is a DeLorean and a flux capacitor, and you can pay $35.
There you go. There you go. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. When you've been around the block a few times, you definitely will come across the same things time and time and time again, the same titles of magazines time and time and time again. And every once in a while, you'll see something like I saw today with those 2 different James Bond things that I just have never seen before. And I've seen a lot of James Bond stuff throughout the years. Pick it up.
Yeah.
And again, it went in my box to buy from the house call, just because I said, well,
Yeah.
I've not seen this before, and it's going to be interesting. And even if it's not worth a lot, it'll still sell because it's James Bond. And if I haven't seen it, I'm sure the hardcore James Bond people know about it, but a lot of other people will not know about it as well. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.